Paradiseworldvideos. Good morning, it's Saturday, it's in Spain, and we've got all the latest news, good news, bad news, all kind of news. And yeah, we've got breaking news, and it's about a Ryanair plane, and it was about to take off in Palma early hours of the morning, and a big massive fire broke out, and people could be seen escaping, climbing onto the wings of the plane. 18 people injured, and there was actually 8 people rushed to hospital. Big scenes going on. Yeah, this is all breaking news. Of course, we've got a lot of news, some sad news about Diogo Jota, the Liverpool player who died in a crash a couple of days ago. Big funeral coming today, and also we've got lots of other news, weather alerts, and yeah, more Ryanair news as well. Strikes, news galore. So yeah, we're going to update you with everything on the Costa Blanca, Torrevieja. We're taking a walk along this beautiful beach, Aquarium, going into Torrevieja promenade. We'll update you with everything. And before I start, big thank you to all the new channel members, Jamie and all the other people that have just joined the channel, and a big thank you for the PayPal and all the coffees people are buying. Really appreciate that. And at the end of the video as well, just in case you ain't seen it, this beautiful expat community I went to, I'll post it at the end, in Murcia. Can't believe the price of the property. So yeah, first of all, we're going to crack on with the big news today. And if you've been on planet Mars for the last couple of weeks, yeah, massive heat wave through the whole of Europe. Scorching temperatures, record temperatures, up to 48 in some parts of Spain. Of course, England's getting it, most of Europe, Portugal, a whole lot. And it's even set to get a little bit hotter the next few days. And when we talk about weather alerts, we're talking about the AMET, the agency, and they're warning the temperatures of up to 38 degrees today and tomorrow, and as low as 19 through the night. Well, I don't know where they get 19 from. It was about 25 last night, and it's like living in a fire when you come out the aircon condition. But yeah, we're on big, massive alerts for temperatures, and of course it's very dangerous as well. You've got to make sure you're well hydrated, and they reckon don't drink fizzy drinks because they're the worst ones. Sure, I ain't going to stop anyone at the bars drinking the old cervezas and everything. But yeah, it is very serious, and a lot of people are being taken to hospital with sunstroke. At 10:30 in the morning here on Aquarium Beach, you can see people are in the sea. The temperature in the sea is around about 28 degrees, and up the Mar Menor we're looking at temperatures of 30 degrees Celsius. That's the old salt lagoon. Like I said to you, we have got some bad news a few days ago. Yeah, footballer, Liverpool player, his brother as well, involved in a serious car accident early hours of the morning, overtaking. They reckon it was pretty high speed, overtook a car, and unfortunately they lost their lives. The car had flipped. I mean, Diogo Jota was only 28, and of course international Portugal player, plays for Liverpool, and his brother as well was in the car. It was in Zamora in northwest Spain, and it was 12:30 in the morning, and the time the emergency services got there, there was nothing they can actually do. The fire was so bad and exploded in seconds, and actually couldn't even recognise the bodies. It had to be recognised by the car number plate. That's what they were saying. The sad story about it is he only just got married 11 days ago, had his wedding, and of course he's got children as well, 3 children. So yeah, it's another tragic story. We did have one as well where a lorry driver here on Pilarada through the tunnel on the AP7 driving a lorry, and it exploded, and the same thing within seconds. The whole thing caught alight, and the poor bloke charged to death in this tunnel, and been taking weeks. But the good news is the tunnel's back open now, so anyone going up the AP7, the tunnel's reopened, all refurbished, so that will relieve a lot of stress on the roads, and especially for the summer season. But yeah, it's not good of course for the people that have died. So yeah, a bit of sad news there, but we've got a lot of other news to do, and yeah, more news as well, of course. Ryanair and rules and regulations. Been a lot of flight cancellations in the last few days, and it's not just EasyJet, it's the usual. It's the French air controllers back up to the old tricks again. The usual thing, of course, a lot of airlines have been disrupted, and Ryanair boss is absolutely going nuts over it, O'Leary, and he says it's the French air traffic control strike, and he seems to be thinking they're doing it deliberately on these low-cost airlines just coming across there, and they're causing all these little disruptions with the shortages of old equipment, and they're saying it's that's why they've suspended over 1,500 flights. But O'Leary said 360 to 400 flights Ryanair cancelled could have gone ahead if France hadn't closed off the airspace. And he's saying it's all unfair, and of course he's the main man, isn't he, Mr. O'Leary? Ryanair, I know a lot of people don't like it, but it is one of the cheapest, Ryanair and EasyJet. I suppose you've got to pay for what you use, but yeah, he's saying he's definitely unfair, because they're definitely prioritising its domestic flights during the strike. It's been affecting all the holiday makers actually, flying or travelling through to Mersa, Alicante and other Spanish airports. And yeah, widespread delays, I reckon, and cancellations, affecting up to 10,000 passengers. And that's not just people coming to Spain, that's also people that are leaving. Not just striking over old age equipment, it's the all usual stuff, you know, more money and other conditions. They're moaning about the old controversial clocking system for the controllers. But yeah, they're having talks, they're trying to sort out their problems, but the strikes happened the last few days, and they're going to continue these little air controller strikes. And of course EasyJet are at it as well. EasyJet are doing a few strikes themselves. Time of year, and it strikes all over the place. And of course it all kicked off in one of the airports as well, in Madrid, and massive problems to their computer system. And apparently the police had to be called. There was all fighting and everything, because they had hours and hours of delays. So yeah, all going on with the flights and airports. It always kicks off this time of year when they're travelling to these little Spanish islands, Spain. A few drinks too many, and the same's happened again. It's all kicked off on an EasyJet plane from Tenerife. The person was actually getting very disruptive, a bit abusive, ended up peeing in the aisle, and had to make an emergency landing. So yeah, didn't just get chucked off the plane when he actually had to do this emergency landing. Of course it affects everyone. So the plane didn't even get anywhere really. By the time it took off to make its way to Tenerife, it was diverted in no time. Had to do a quick land, and the police would come, chucked him off the plane, and apparently there were a few people injured as well. So yeah, there you go. That's what happens, isn't it, eh? Everyone gets too excited at holiday time. But there is a bit of good news on the horizon. It's not all doom and gloom. We did do a report about these new rules by the EU, European Parliament, of course, throughout the big case here in Spain about the low-cost airlines. We talked about they're all getting fined 170 million in total, all these low-cost, for unfair practices, but the European Court ruled against it and apparently squashed it. But they did suggest, and it is coming in, where you can have two items you can carry on a plane without being charged. But old Mr. Leary, he's got a bit generous, old Ryanair, and he says it's going to make it a bit fairer and a bit easier for people, because everyone's got the standard size. So even though the European Parliament have shortened the size a fraction but give you an extra choice of bringing an extra thing on for free, Mr. O'Leary says he's going to keep the size because it suits everyone, because they've got the suitcases. Even though the headline says Ryanair increases its size by 20%, it's not increased anything. All it's done is it's kept the same, while the other airlines have to have a little bit reduced, shall I say, because they can carry on an extra bag or a laptop or whatever, where before they were charged. Of course, these new baggage rules are set to come in the next few weeks, so that's what they're saying. And well, it's good news for people, isn't it? They can carry on a bit of extra luggage without being charged. When these new size regulations do come in the next few weeks, with a little bit smaller carrying on, so you'll have to check with the low-cost airlines you're going with, because I say Ryanair have decided to increase one bit of it, they say, and you've got EasyJet, they said they're not changing theirs at all. And a spokesman for EasyJet has already confirmed that they're not going to change anything. They're still going to stay with a 45, 36, 20 centimetres, giving you a maximum volume of 32 litres. So look, yeah, we got this new law coming in. Of course, it all gets a bit complicated because some ain't even going to change it. I suppose it all come down to the unfair practices they were talking about and giving them a big fine. So they come up with a solution with just reducing the baggage a little bit and giving you these extra things you can take on without being charged. Like I say, some of them are not even bother reducing, but you do have to check. But yeah, that's enough of airlines and planes and people getting thrown off, all the disaster news. But we have got a funny old story here, and we have got big problems, you know, we talk about all the time in Spain, squatters. And yeah, some lady actually found a squatter in a garage. She's opened up a garage, a parking spot where she parks her car, and she's got a squatter in there. This was in Madrid, and apparently been there for like a good few weeks. And yeah, making himself quite comfortable really, and he had his own fridge, his TV and everything. Not just squatting in houses here, I mean now they're in garages. So yeah, be careful when you open your garage next, there might be one in there. But as you know, they have changed the law slightly, but it always seems they be favouring the squatters all the time. And they're trying to tweak it. I don't know what it is in Spain. They don't seem to be coming down hard enough. But they did bring this new law out. That was the law that come out in April. They're saying that if they get anyone in your property that's squatted, you can get them out in 15 days. But it doesn't count for all squatters. It doesn't count for people that have been renting who just stopped paying. It's just paying for people that literally just jumped in your house in the last few days. And if you get in there before the 15 days, you can get them out no problem. Otherwise, you're in for a long, long court battle. Got other kind of news because it's summer. Yeah, record-breaking people still coming to Spain. Despite all the negative feedback that the tourists go home, it's still the most popular place. And yeah, it's summer, so we're going to have summer problems. Apart from the hospitals, we're going to talk about shortages in the summer and how they can't cope. Because in August, if you don't know now, you'll never know, because in Spain it comes to a standstill. August, all the businesses literally shut down, and a lot of the hospitals, the doctors, surgeons, they don't do any operations. They literally all go on their vacations, and of course that is the time where we get mass amount of people here in Spain. And when you need a doctor, of course we've got the main one here that's happening every day, of course. But getting nearer the summer, it's getting easy for them, and that's the ugger-muggers. And we've had another case of the ugger-muggers. They've struck 3 times in one day. They do it all in daytime, and it's the old usual distraction thing they do. Come up and ask for directions, or come up with some kind of gibberish talk. Cars there waiting to the getaway, and before you know it, they've had your chain off you, and sometimes your wallet, your phone. They literally grabbing anything. This was in Playa Flamenca. This was at 12 o'clock in the daytime. But already done 3 previous, and they're just driving around. And these are pictures of the people, the culprits. Actually, someone driving by and see it all happen, but the time they actually had a chance to catch up with them, before they knew it, they were gone, jumped in a getaway car, and off they went. Same getaway car as they're using all the time. I don't understand why the police can't catch them. I mean, in the same area every day, doing multiple muggings. But it's everywhere. It's not just here in Torrevieja, in Orihuela Costa, all parts of Spain. And like I mentioned, Barcelona is the worst one. Other than that, crime in Spain is pretty low. One of the safest countries in the world. So yeah, it's just got to be a bit careful when you're out and about, and make sure that you're well alert of these muggers. They do tend to attack mainly the elderly, the most vulnerable. But saying that, they ain't scared of who they're going to attack. If they got the opportunity, they do. They did approach me once while I was filming. Unfortunately for them, I was pretty alert and aware of my surroundings and knew what she was up to before she even had a chance to get near me. And she knew the word F off, and as soon as I screamed it in her face, she went scarper into a getaway car. Same woman, same people. Yeah, it's the usual really. When you come out of Spain and you're on your holidays, say it all the time, make sure the women put their bags in front of them, not to the back, because they will get to your backpack. They will do all the distractions going. There's the ones what I mentioned where they spray a bit of crap on you and they come to brush you down, pretend to help you clean. So they actually have your wallet out your pocket, and they actually do the wallet swap. They've done it in Barcelona. They swap your wallet over so you don't even realise they've had your wallet. You fill your pocket thinking it's still there. They are professionals. And yeah, you don't want to be taking all your money out. Just take a little bit of money out, especially your passport and your bank cards. If you're going to the beach, you only need to take out 20, 30 euros. You don't need to take your life possessions. But yeah, hugger-muggers, I tell you all the time, but it's still happening. One day someone's going to give these a good old beating, I tell you, because that's what they deserve. Now in Spain, always thinking of new ways of getting money out of here. We've got toll roads already, and some of the toll roads are pretty expensive just to go through a short little bit of road, like the Lazinia bit up to Rocales. There's 2 toll roads with less than a couple of miles, and it could cost you up to 4 euros. They put it up in the summer just to catch out all the tourists. But now they've come up with another idea, and yeah, they're saying we're going to be paying 3 cents a kilometre. and this is going to help improve all the road maintenance and everything, and relieve the old tax burden with all the money, because apparently they're taking out different pots. They're taking the money from like the healthcare and all different sectors just to fund the roads. So they've got this idea they're coming out with. It's still got to go ahead. Whether it does or not, I don't know. But it is 3 cents a kilometre to help improve the roads. They're proposing this for all the roads in Spain nationally. So yeah, and they're saying that this actually annually would be 5.7 billion euros that will come in. That would help out quite a lot, because they're currently spending 11.5 billion euros. So yeah, if they get in half of that amount of money, it would help with all the other things they've been cutting back on to fund all these poor roads, the maintenance. Mind you saying now, I don't find the roads really bad here in Spain. Pretty good really, maybe around some of these little towns which have just been neglected, but overall the roads are really good. Traffic stress free, and is stress free as well. So 3 cents might not seem too much money, but I'll tell you what, it will cost more if you've got a truck or a lorry, because they're talking about 14 cents. Now that soon adds up, but you know what happens? The people end up paying. People like me, you, will end up paying for the extra cost in the shops on the goods, because they're always passed on the cost. So really there ain't no win-win, maybe for the government, but yeah, we're going to be paying twice. We use the road 3 cents, and then we've got to pay for the trucks 14 cents a kilometre to bring the stuff to us. They reckon this is nothing new, because they're saying back in 2023 the European Commission imposed an obligation to have tolls on every dual carriageway in Spain, and that hasn't happened. So I doubt it this is ever going to happen. They do come up with some balmy ideas, and as you know, we had the one with the 100% on the property tax, which really was only 10% you actually pay, which is the VAT. So 100% would have been 20, but yeah, that was never going to go through, and of course it got knocked out, because the opposition party is far bigger than the party that's in. But yeah, these crazy ideas are come up with. It's all money, money, money. Fine, fine, fine. But other than that, Spain's lovely, isn't it? Just gone 11:30 in the morning. Absolutely gorgeous. Currently 34 degrees. Of course, the weather in Spain is always given in the shade. If you get in your car, it's more like 38, 40 degrees. Got some other bits of news that are really interesting that's coming in as well. Before we get on to that, we'll tell you about the problems with the hospitals and the shortage of staff. It's all kicking in now, July and August. This is where you're going to have the problems, and they affecting all hospitals in Spain. And of course it affects the one in Torrevieja, but it's not the high priority. But they're saying you could be end up waiting a month to be seen, and they're very unusual here in Spain. The medical care, as you know, is really, really good, and of course it's very competitive price as well. But yeah, waiting times, they're saying up to a month in some cases. So you're going to have all these people that normally have a quick, simple blood test. You get it in a couple of days, and of course they're going to be shortage of all these people, critical shortage in a lot of this medical staff, and yeah, they reckon it could be a major concern. But this is the norm time of year. Of course you get the accidents as well that happen in Spain, kids breaking their arms and legs, and flus and all kind of things going on, where people do get rushed into hospitals, so they do get overwhelmed. And with all the doctors and surgeons all on vacation, it's even going to get worse. So if you have to go to these hospitals for any reason, be prepared for the worst. So even though the government in Spain, they actually give an extra budget in the summer months, July and August, of 82 million euros just to help with the situation, which is, yeah, as you know, a lot of money. But then again, they're getting a lot of money on tourists, and they should be a bit kinder with the fines they keep on threatening us with. Other than that, as you know, it is living the dream, innit? Cheap drink, cheap food, cheap living, cheap everything, accommodation, and you get the sunshine, and that comes free, and everyone comes and enjoys it, and it's fiesta season, so you get to see all the fiestas for free. Absolutely brilliant. So I can't knock the country, it is great, and where you are, where you go, you have to follow the rules, and I'll just keep you up to date with all the rules and the news. Some's good, some bad, but you've got to be informed on what's going on. If you appreciate the content, you can always buy me a coffee, scan the barcode, or go down in the descriptions like I mentioned before. And you can even become a channel member, like my new channel members. As soon as we upload the videos, they'll go to members first. But yeah, we've got other news, of course. And I'll tell you what, this one, which is pretty good really. And this other bit of news is great news because there's been a major advancement in breast cancer breakthrough discovered in Malaga. And it's like a big international team of researchers. And they've actually found a new drug. And this new drug is the use of blood tests to detect tumour resistance. So the first treatment delays the disease from spreading up to 16 months. And normally it was 9 months, so yeah, you're getting an extra 7 months to kind of slow it down. But yeah, as you know, it's all good news, isn't it? All these breakthroughs they're coming up with. This other one may affect some people, especially when you go to big events in Spain, concerts and all things like that, football games, and you're paying rocket sky prices for tickets, and of course you're paying more than the face value. Well, there's a law just come in now, it's all going to stop here in Spain. And you're no longer to be paying for hyped up ticket prices. It's all going to change right now. The government is going to ban all these tickets for resale at the hyped up prices for culture events. Like I said, all these kind of things that are happening. Just come in, literally, the 1st of July, this new consumption, they're saying, law of rights, Ministry of Social Rights. So yeah, 1st of July, it's all happened. So a few days ago, you don't have to pay silly prices for tickets because it is illegal, and they will get fined massive if they get caught sending you a ticket more than the face value. They're saying these ticket sales, what they actually do at the resale price, they're making 322 million a year, and they reckon come 2030 it'd be €1 billion. Wow, that is a lot of money. Of course, the government's only worried about one thing: they're missing out on the tax. So yeah, last bit of news to report on, and not surprisingly, even though it's got a bad reputation, but they're saying here the electric vehicle registration in Spain has literally shot right up 80% of the first half of 2025. I think they're really talking about the hybrid rather than the fully electric myself, because it hasn't really got a good reputation. Electric cars, I don't know what you think about them, but yeah, catching a light and having to pull over and charge and finding one that's actually available and trying to stagger your mileage and how long you've got. I personally think hybrid is the way forward. A bit of petrol, you don't need to charge it, it charges itself, you can go around town for free. Of course, we all know the diesel's definitely going, but I can't see them get rid of petrol. There's too much money to be made for the government. But yeah, that is today's. I don't know what you think about today's news, but if you could all leave a comment, it does help the algorithm. And tell us what you think. If you do travel with Ryanair, what you think. Mr. O'Leary's being a bit generous, giving you that little bit extra. The new rules, we can carry on some bags for free. Of course, the hospital situation overcrowded, and actually paying to go on the motorways 3 cents a mile. You know, all this kind of news. A sad story as well as Dio Jota. A lot of sad news today and good news, and it'd be good news if they catch them mugger uggers. Unless you've got some stories to tell me about the mugger uggers or you know anyone, but yeah, and the squatters as well. You definitely got to check the video I've done of the squatters up there if you haven't seen it, and the place we went to in Murcia. Of course, it is cheap there. And once again, big thank you to all my subscribers, and if you can share the video on your platforms and help me reach out more people, and really appreciate that. But it's hasta luego from Torrevieja, Spain. See you in the next video.